Alright, so we are back 2 weeks later for another Snapshot review. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Minecraft 1.19.3 slash 1.20 snapshot. Sorry about the lag. 22W44A. And I need to run some commands really quick to, we'll talk about that in a minute, to decrease the lag. But anyways, what's up? Wait. Alright, guess what day it is, guys? It's way past the day by a week plus. It's another time for a snapshot day. Today we have 22W44A and 22W43A. These two snapshots came out the past 2 weeks, and I didn't really cover 22W43A. Didn't have that much in it. Had some slight tweaks to the creative inventory and such, and camel animations, but 22W44A, on the technical and creative side of things, it just got interesting. So, first, the developers have stated that they are hoping this will be the final round of inventory changes for now. So that makes me think that they want to move on to other content. Maybe we'll get new building blocks or new mobs or something. But anyways, this is what the tabs look like so far. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. So first, all the colored blocks are now sorted by color gradient. So for example, white goes to light gray, then to black, then to brown, and then it goes to red, and vice versa. You kind of get the idea. They're trying to add a color grading system. So that's pretty cool. Second of all, if we go to natural blocks, yes, the nature blocks tab has been renamed. We have some special new items in here, or at least in the next tab. But we have the turtle egg, frog spawn, cobweb, and bedrock. And then if we go down here in functional blocks, we'll talk about this a little bit. But if we go all the way down to the bottom, we now have the ominous banner and the ender dragon egg. Now, I don't know why these are in here. The dragon egg specifically, I mean, it teleports, but I don't know. I guess it fits, whatever. Then in here, they've added the boats with chests and stuff. They've added the command block boat. And that's where we really need to start talking. Go all the way down. Every single admin exclusive block, except for the structure block for some reason, I think they forgot it, but the majority of the admin exclusive blocks have now been moved into the creative inventory. This is huge for many different reasons. First, I'm going to pull out all of these. Oh, and I forgot you can't stack these. But yeah, we'll go through tools. You know, had some changes over the past couple of weeks. And we'll save this one for last, because there's a lot of changes in there. But anyways, yes, like I said, command blocks can now basically be accessed by anyone in creative mode. Now, can you place them if you're not opt? No. I'm pretty sure that's still the case. So if you're not opt, you're not able to access these. But I think these are pretty cool. This means that people who do use command blocks no longer have to type in the whole command and tab complete every single time they clear their inventory or something. They can just go up to redstone, scroll down, and they'll get the block. Now, I would argue they should make it so only opt players with cheats, can actually see that the command block's in the inventory. That might be really hard to code, but I think that would be a great idea for a future update. But yeah, you've also got jigsaws, structure voids, structure blocks. Oh yeah, and they fixed that bug where you could see the barrier particles when he broke it. Apparently that was glitch. The light block, the debug stick, if we want to go over to a command block, for example, you know, this is what it does. But they have finally made it so we can actually get this in the creative inventory. And that is so awesome, because, like, this block is basically used for, well, building. Like, it was left in the game by accident, but ever since, people have made weird and really cool creations with it. But we need to talk about a block that has been added recently. The Chiseled bookshelf. This was added back in 22W42A, and they have added a new functionality with it. It will interact with hoppers. So if I get a hopper up here, I put a book in, put 5 more, put those back in, and then if you want to do something like this, you get a weird situation. Yeah, it'll auto-refill it if there's a hopper with a chest under it, which is really cool. I actually really like this addition. And I think this makes so much sense. This was a community-requested feature, and I'm so glad it made it into the game. Now, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. I'm not really a redstone person, but I still think it is a cool change. Now, on the spawn egg side of things, we need to talk about monster spawners and 4 new spawn eggs. And no, these spawn eggs are not for new mobs. These are for existing mobs that have been in the game for a long time and are finally getting spawn eggs. But first, the monster spawner has received quite a few significant updates. First of all, let's grab... Guess we could grab some alloys. Let us place this down. So, first of all, the pink text has been removed. That text basically signified it as a admin-only block, or something that it's a really powerful item. They removed it to be consistent with Bedrock Edition, but they also added this text. Interact with spawn egg, sets mob type. So, they've started adding lures to items, I guess. And this basically explains how you use the monster spawner. So if I place it down, it won't have any flame particles or anything. It won't have any entity in there. And I can pick block these finally, which you couldn't do before. But what I can also do, make it a mob spawner. I don't know the requirements. But say, I want to try this somewhere else. I can actually pick block. I think, yes. I should be able to pick block the spawner, and now it has an alley, and now wherever I go, I can have alley spawners everywhere. And I don't know why you would want this. I mean, they're really cute, but yeah. Anyways, that's a pretty cool feature, and honestly, I think that will lead to some fun mob spawner stuff. But you know what will be even more fun? New spawn eggs. Now, first we have to talk about the previous spawn eggs, of course. The camel and the polar bear spawn egg, wherever that is, right here, have received some texture changes. Honestly, I think these are better. The polar bear spawn egg now kind of looks like that old glitch spawn egg they had in the game, whereas before it was basically a gas spawn egg duplicate. I don't know why it was never changed, and it took this long for them to do something about it, but hey, great change in my opinion, so yeah, that happened. Very nice. But we have golem spawn eggs. So we have the iron golem and the snow golem. And we can actually spawn these in. Finally, we don't have to build them all the time. So I can have an army of iron golems, or I can do dispenser machinery. And I can have an army of snow golems, and I can make them have no pumpkin, like usual. So if I go ahead and do this... Yeah, you get the idea. They're very fun to mess around with. But there are 2 more spawn eggs they introduced in the Snapshot. And while these are locked behind commands, I am curious if they are actually going to keep these through the final cut of 1.20 or 1.19.3. I could see these getting cut in order to prevent griefing, because well, these spawn eggs are very, very powerful. And those spawn eggs, of course, are not just the Wither, but the Ender Dragon. Yes, you now have the ability to go wherever you want with the spawn egg and spawn a Wither. Now, I don't think the Wither is too bad. You could already do this with Soul Sand and Wither Skulls. But the Ender Dragon, if you have Op, Yeah, you get the idea. This could get chaotic really fast, so I don't know if these spawn eggs will stay in the game. I'm sure they will. I mean, I really hope they do. They're really fun. And they make it so you don't have to do custom ones with commands or whatever. They make it nicer for players, but still, I do wonder if there's going to be a lot more griefing. And I may have a data pack to fix that, which I'll talk about in another video. But yeah, very cool spawn eggs. But we have even more stuff to talk about. Let's go find a snow biome. Alright, so if I were to go find a biome, snowy tundra, or snowy plains, sorry. Oh, I turned off command feedback, so of course that's not going to work. Locate biome, snowy plains. Okay, please tell me they actually fixed it so it won't crash your game. Thank you. In the first snapshot, we had an issue where whenever you located a desert village, your computer would basically terminate your gameplay. So, yeah, we are in a snow biome, and we have around 7 new game rules to talk about. Some of them are pretty easy to explain. In fact, all of them are. And we're going to start off with the easier one. So, the first one is water source conversion. So, what does this mean? Basically, should this be possible or should it not? Well, in order to change that, you do water source conversion, true or false. It is on true by default. If I set it to false, and then say, put a water here, that's weird. Well, let's say I went into survival mode and then picked up the water, like this. Yeah, you will see you can't make the 2x2 water source anymore, which is basically what this game rule will do. But now, they decided to be very nice and fair and add this for lava. Now, this is set to false by default. What if we set it to true? Oops, that was not what I meant to do. One corner, and now we have an infinite lava source. So if I give myself bucket 16, yeah, we can literally make infinite lava sources. This is great. Now, I don't know why you would mess around with these. Maybe you want to change your gameplay experience. But I think it's very nice that we're actually getting these added to the game. Now, there are some other ones that have been added. And I'm not going to display them, but there is block, explosion, drop, decay. There is global sound events, mob explosion, drop, decay, and there should be one more, TNT, drop, explosion, decay. So basically what those mean is, say a creeper blows your house up. If you set the mob one to true or to false, what will happen is it'll actually make it so you actually get all of the drops. It won't only drop some of the blocks, it'll drop all of them, which is how it is for TNT. So they've basically given you the power to do that for all types of explosions. But there were 2 other game rules we saw in there. First, we have game rule global sound events. So this might be really nice if you're on a server, but say there are people who like to fight the Wither a lot. You can basically disable it so when someone fights the Wither, that sound won't be heard across the entire server. And honestly, this is a great addition. Like, to be honest, that is a very annoying feature. You know, I don't mind it too much, but if someone's fighting 30 Withers back to back, you don't want to hear the spawn sound 50 times. Especially if they were to do a Wither update, like add the Bedrock version of the Wither to Java, it might get even more annoying, because I'm pretty sure it makes even more sounds. But, yeah, and the same case for the Ender Dragon, by the way. The game rule works for both of those. But then we have the game rule, snow accumulation height. And what this will do is it'll basically turn snow biomes into a battleground, in a way. So, what do I mean by this? Well, normally, snow will just go up by 1 layer. You'll have the 1 layer. But now it can accumulate up to a full block's worth. So this right here, over time, can become a full block. And it's a really cool addition, in my opinion. It basically means that, like, you can add a lot more variety to your terrain. Like, look at this. I've had this on for 5 minutes, and it adds so much more diversity to the terrain. Now, will it take a long time for it to cover the entire biome? Yes, but if you want to mess around with it, go for it. And also, I want to say there's a bug in the snapshot, I think, where everyone's getting the exact same seed. That could just be me, but it seems like I'm getting the same one every time. But yeah, no, this is a really awesome game rule. I think it's going to add a lot more challenge to your world, especially if you have like a mod pack where like maybe the higher snow level you're on, the more damage you take or something, the more you freeze. Like, you could do some really fun mini games with this, and I'm honestly so happy that they added this, because like, just look. This is beautiful. There's so much more diversity in the terrain, and I think this honestly should be enabled by default, but then again, I would see why they wouldn't want to do that, because it would break existing worlds. But no, anyways, that is pretty much everything in 22W, 43, and 44A. If you want my predictions for next week's Snapshot, by the fact they said they're going to be done with creative inventory changes, or they're hoping to be done with them, I think one of 2 or 3 things could happen. One, I think we are going to get some creative inventory changes, some bug fixes. For example, the structure block is not in the inventory, so I think they will add that, because I'm sure that is a bug. 2, I think we could get a pre-release, so 1.19.3 is basically ready to come out, or they just continue on and we get more content. Because if I'm understanding their system right, they want to go ahead and have like multiple mini versions throughout the year. And I'm guessing when they do their snapshots, like, I don't know how it's going to work, but I could assume we're getting a 1.19.3 release soon. But if not, I'll be happy if we just get more content. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be careful with those spawn eggs, and I will catch you guys later.